Devastating floods continue to wreak havoc on several Midwestern states, killing at least 3 people and destroying many homes and businesses. And one local organization is asking for donations to help victims of the recent tornadoes in Lee County, Alabama that killed dozens. And many in eastern Kentucky are mourning the unexpected loss of Perry County 911 dispatcher Levi Grubbs.
Dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Connor James. The time is 5:58. Let's check in with Brandon Robinson for a look at your forecast on this last day of winter.
Last full day, my friend, and I think a lot of folks are going to say good riddance after we've had all the crazy weather, including lots of rain, still several inches above average for this time of the year, and it's just only 3 months in. Let's take a look at the cameras this morning, starting outside the WYMT studios here in Hazard. Pretty quiet to start our day off. Pretty cold as well. Live pinpoint Doppler radar, clean sweeps across the board this morning. And you see temperatures anywhere from 19 in Monticello to 33 now in Hazard and Jackson, continuing to drop there. Planner for today, we'll see those temperatures climb into the low 50s, maybe some mid 50s with that full-on sunshine. But again, a frosty start to the day, so you'll have to crank that heat up a little bit longer as we head to the next several days, but back and forth, and hopefully getting into the 60s and close to 70 by this weekend. I'll have the rest of that forecast on the way here in just a few minutes. Connor?
Thanks, Brandon. Devastating floods continue to wreak havoc on several Midwestern states, killing at least 3 people and destroying many homes and businesses. CBS News' Laura Podesta has the latest.
Record flooding is gripping large parts of the Midwest, leaving behind a trail of destruction. The police department in Bellevue, Nebraska, live streamed the damage, showing water rising up to the windows of many homes.
They're telling everybody just grab what you can and get out.
In southeast Wisconsin, floodwaters took residents by surprise.
You know how you put a movie in fast motion? That's how quick it came.
Flooding has breached or overtopped some 200 miles of levees in 4 states: Nebraska, Iowa, Missouri, and Kansas. Just outside Omaha in Fremont, roads are almost impassable.
We are trapped. We can't get in or out of Fremont, and so planes are flying in supplies from all over.
Across the region, thousands of people have been forced to evacuate, sometimes with just minutes to spare.
This recovery isn't going to be a few days or a few weeks. This recovery is going to be months to possibly a year.
The flooding began last week, started by a massive winter storm. Rivers have swollen to historic levels in more than 40 locations. Melting snow combined with more rain means the flooding could continue for the next several days. Laura Podesta, CBS News.
The governors of Iowa, Wisconsin, and Nebraska have declared states of emergency as rivers have reached historic levels in 41 locations across the Midwest. Vice President Pence is planning a visit to Nebraska today to survey the damage. And today in Virginia, they will participate in a statewide tornado drill. The drill will start at approximately 9:45 a.m., which will include test tornadoes, a warning sent to the National Weather Service by the Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. Weather radios, along with local radio stations, TV stations, and cable outlets will broadcast the test message via the emergency alert system. And Mozambique's president says he fears more than 1,000 people may have been killed in Cyclone Idai. The storm devastated entire villages, destroyed hundreds of homes, and cut off access to many communities. Idai crashed into Africa's southeastern coast last Thursday. It then plowed inland, also bringing widespread destruction to Malawi and Zimbabwe. And Virginia State Police, officials are continuing their investigation into a house fire from Friday night in Hurley that killed 1 person. The name of the victim still has not yet been released. Officials say they do not expect foul play to be a factor in the death. The fire happened again Friday night. And the massive inferno at the Texas chemical plant has environmental officials now monitoring the air quality in the Houston area. The fire is expected to continue burning for days. The fire is burning throughout giant storage tanks full of fuel and other highly flammable substances. The fire has cast a massive, dark, and ominous cloud that is now looming over the city of Houston.
According to the air quality, all detections recorded by CTAH were below levels that would represent a health concern.
They say the blaze is contained, but only for the time being, as that fire continues to rage on, burning fuel tank by tank. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. And the With Love from Harlan group is asking for donations to help victims of the recent tornadoes in Lee County, Alabama, that killed dozens. WYMT's Hannah Reynolds talks with volunteers about their relief efforts.
Compassion for their community. That is what With Love from Harlan volunteers say drives them.
It's wonderful for us to show the love of our community in other communities. That way they can know that other people care about them.
However, they can.
Pretty much was just watching the news before school.
And I got a text that said, we're going to Alabama. That was all I got. There was no discussion about it. She felt led to go, so we were going.
With recent tornadoes that killed 23 people in Alabama, that love is sending them to the devastated areas hit the hardest.
It's horrible. I can't imagine going through anything like that.
Now they're asking for donations for their trip.
Brooms, dustpans, mops, anything like that. I mean, once they're able to get into their home and do cleanup, they're going to need a lot of cleaning supplies.
And their goal is to fill a 15-foot U-Haul. The need in Lee County, Alabama has become their driving force.
Just seeing people in need. And the need, the want to share love with them and, just be there.
Helping fill the need in communities wherever they are. In Harlan County, Hannah Reynolds, WYMT Mountain News.
The group will be taking donations until next Monday evening at 4 before they leave for Alabama. Well, gone too soon. Many in eastern Kentucky are mourning the unexpected loss of Perry County 911 dispatcher Levi Grubbs. He died at UK Hospital after a car crash and just hours after posting a hospital selfie on Facebook saying he loved everyone and was in good spirits. WYMT's Lauren McCourt talked to friends of Grubbs who say he will never be forgotten.
Many of those who knew Levi Grubbs described him as a friend you could count on.
He would do anything for anybody at any time.
Maybe that's why he was so good as a 911 dispatcher.
And he was a great dispatcher too. He was a very good dispatcher.
Grubbs was not only a loyal employee, but a loyal friend.
I mean, if he was your friend, he was your friend. He was real loyal.
Since he was just a kid, he loved making people smile.
He had that personality. If you were around him, you liked him.
And would do just about anything to make you laugh.
Nobody's ever topped Levi's costume. I mean, it's the best costume I've ever seen.
And this is a trait he carried on through his entire life.
If I had to sum it up to one word, he would be a prankster. He was always pranking with someone.
Along with going the extra mile for anyone.
And Levi was one that made sure that a lot of officers and EMS and firefighters went home safely at night.
Though Grubbs will no longer be on call.
It's not just our center, it's the whole community of first responders are going to be affected by this.
His legacy in the community will live on forever. In Perry County, Lauren McCourt, WYMT Mountain News.
His visitation will be from 6 to 9 today at the Hal Rogers Forum. The funeral will be Wednesday at noon at the Forum as well. Grant Levi Grubbs was 43 years old. A team of active duty and reserve members of the military finished a 150-mile run Sunday to honor the men and women who have died serving our country since September 11th. The Arkansas Run for the Fallen kicked off at Ozark City Hall on Friday and finished at the state capitol. Each mile was dedicated to a different hero, and the team stopped at every mile marker to present an American flag. And a grand jury returned an indictment for one of 3 men charged in a triple murder in 2017. Jeremy Hatfield faces a 7-count indictment, including 3 counts of murder. Hatfield and 2 others are charged in the deaths of Emma Jean and Christopher Bittner and Emma Jean's son, Robert Kennedy. The family was found dead in their Whitley County home. Police say all 3 were strangled. The Laurel County man is charged after someone found his 10-year-old daughter walking down a highway. Deputies arrested Tracy Smith. They say a woman found a child and took her back home. The woman told police she was dirty and Smith was under the influence. Smith is charged with criminal abuse and public intoxication. And yesterday afternoon, friends and family said goodbye to a man stabbed last week in Pike County. Charles Ratliff was 73 years old. His funeral was held yesterday at Samaria Old Regular Baptist Church. Michael Yates, Ratliff's daughter's boyfriend, is charged with murder. He is scheduled for a preliminary hearing later this week.
Forecast this morning, chilly and frosty, and of course it's the last full day of winter, but we wouldn't expect anything less, right? Let's take a look at the temperatures this morning. 19 in Monticello, 33 Hazard and Jackson this morning. That's the range, and that's probably the ridge tops there at Hazard and Jackson, so a lot of folks in the 20s this morning. Frost scrape alert. Again, you're going to need a little extra time to get those windows scraped this morning, so give yourself a couple extra minutes. If you don't warm the car up, maybe need a little bit more than that, but your day planner takes us into the 40s by lunchtime, into the 50s by this afternoon. Lots of sunshine, maybe a few clouds as we get deeper into the day, but overall not too bad as we wrap up winter on this Tuesday. Connor?
Well, thanks for joining Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. It's an NCAA tournament time, and before you bet against Nevada, you're going to want to meet these twins. We have more coming up.